What is so important as part of this discussion, and you have stated this, Senator Shaheen, that our fishermen often are not included when we think about areas of disasters, and yet in terms of those industries, those parts of our economy that are making things happen, just folks kind of chugging along, it's our fisheries that have for decades and for centuries, as you note, Senator Whitehouse, for centuries, these have been producing good jobs and providing a source of sustenance for our families. Alaska is in somewhat of a unique situation in that we still have so many families that rely on their fisheries for subsistence. This is not just an income source for many, but for so many out in rural Alaska, this means whether or not you're going to be able to eat this winter. And the situation on the Yukon and on the Kuskokwim, when those rivers were shut down to fishing, we had acts of civil disobedience where individuals just came to the river and said, we have to put our nets in because we have to be able to feed our families. Down in the Cook Inlet region, not so much a subsistence lifestyle there, but this is a commercial fishery as well as sport fishing. So you have sport guides that are required to be off the river. You cannot take that tourist who's come to Alaska for their dream fishing trip. You cancel that. You lose your revenue. Your guides can no longer stay in place. So, Senator Shaheen, you note kind of the ripple effect to the economy. It is in all of our fishing communities and those who support them. So when we talk about disasters in an area and the $150 million that was to be split between all of these different regions and states, it's a recognition that it is quite slight in comparison to the true loss to our economies, the true loss to our families who have suffered this. So again, I appreciate the commitment that we have from so many that have been impacted, that we don't give up on this, that we have gone through the process, we've jumped the hurdles to get the designation that is required by our government through the Secretary of Commerce. We have done that. Now the step is for Congress to provide that authorization, that funding that makes the difference. It's one thing to get a disaster declaration on paper. It's another thing to be able to provide the relief. And I certainly intend to push until that relief is provided, not only for the families in Alaska, but for those who have been impacted by fisheries disasters throughout the country.